Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, how are you?
Hopefully, you're okay and you've made it through all this cold weather that we've been having. I'm afraid to say I think I've become acclimated because it is cold here. I used to laugh at you guys, but not
Since
anymore.
and what you're referring to is you're from Alaska, and this is
Yeah.
like middle of summer for Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you
So-
actually think this is cold, so that's nice. It's nice
I
to have you.
actually wore a hat the other day.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah, my manager of my building didn't even hardly recognize me with a hat on.
Yeah,
So
you look like a teenager, like trendy.
no, I looked like
Did you have
more
the
of
skinny
one of those
jeans on, too?
horror movies with the guy with the mask.
Wait, is this going to go back to the chainsaw story that you shared earlier? Everybody in Alaska carries a chainsaw around.
Exactly, because you just never know when you're going to need firewood,
That's right. Yeah.
and that's another reason to carry a lighter in your pocket.
Hey, I
by the
think
way.
somebody out there needs this reminder. February 14th is this Sunday. Mm-hmm. And somebody needs the reminder of what February 14th is.
You men out there, because I know the women know it, but you guys take warning. We're telling you
This
ahead
Sunday.
of time. It's Valentine's Day, and if you want to make any kind of point at all, you will remember to
Yep.
get her something.
Ladies, you can let it go, but fellas, don't you dare forget.
Exactly, and it better not be an appliance. So
So the Roomba's out. The Roomba
the
vacuum.
Roomba is well, that one might not be bad. It's the mixer and those kinds of things
Okay.
for in the kitchen that mean work.
Well, that's good.
Anyway, my question today, now that all of you are about ready to shut us off here, is the title of this is What Now? And I'm going to say our 21 days of prayer ended about 2 weeks ago. First off, Kevin, I'll put you on the spot first.
Uh-oh.
What did you fast from?
Mine was social media. I cut off social media at different times of the day so that I wasn't on there all the time because it's almost become an addiction, I think. You know?
Okay, so when you shut it off, intentionally shut it off, what did you do then with that?
Oh, I
time?
stopped liking social media and I just watched YouTube to pass the time. Just kidding. I would try to spend
People
time.
are not laughing out there because that's exactly
They are
what
laughing.
they did.
There's
do.
somebody laughing.
Oh yeah.
They might be laughing
Absolutely.
at you picking on me, but somebody's laughing.
Yep, because
No,
that's 9 out of 10 times what did happen after 3 days, maybe of fasting.
yeah, I would cut it out, and I would either spend time with the Bible app reading a devotional, or praying, whether it be while I was driving or whether I was walking around or just had that time. I would try to spend time with God in focusing.
That's the key word there. Try. Did you make it every time?
Not every time. Yeah, I had some
Yeah.
failures. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pastor Kevin failed.
That's why we're considered humans.
Yeah.
Okay, Travis, what did you fast from?
My biggest distraction is my cell phone. So for 21 days, it was on silent. So that's why when you guys were texting me, the responses were late. Because during my time where I was either worshiping, studying the word, or whatever, the notifications were coming, but I wasn't hearing them. So
And you were faithful to it?
yeah.
More than just 3 days in and then,
Oh no,
gee
I did the
whiz.
whole 21 days, and a lot of my friends, a lot of family, can't get in contact with you. What's going on? But,
What's
you
going
know,
on, huh?
That's my biggest distraction, because it's a thing like when a notification hits, as this thing in me, I gotta stop whatever I'm doing and pick it up and look at it. And then once I got the phone in my hand, it's like, oh, let me check out what's going on Facebook, or So that was it was
Yep.
good though. I mean, I liked it.
So, are you still doing that?
I am actually. Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Still on silent.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you because that's hard.
It is hard, but I don't. everybody knows me know I hate phones because of that distraction thing. And for me personally, man, this was probably the best 21 days. I always do a fast to start the year out. This was probably my best one yet because I was super focused. You know.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's awesome.
What about you? Are you still doing it?
I'm still doing it. I have cut out social media a lot more because that is I deleted the app a while back, and there was a time where Pastor Mark told me I had to get it back because I had to communicate with church stuff on social media. And so when I did, that was very it became a distraction. But yes, I'm still eliminating it at different times of the day and make sure that I'm focusing on other things. There's been other things that I've done, but I can't share those. They're more private. What about you, Sue? Putting us on the spot.
Yeah.
Are you still doing it?
No, no. To be honest, it was, and I didn't do well during it either. I
Yeah.
mean, and it was hard because he just was working on other things with me at the time, but then a lot of it was for my own good to fail again and say, hey, Sue, you need this help and you need to get into that.
Yeah.
And one of my fastings was I was supposed to from 6 until 6:30 haul out my prayer list. You know, I have my own special prayer list where when I tell people I'm praying for them daily,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, absolutely, you are.
And I wanted to do it twice to impress upon myself that these people are out there and still needed that. And I stopped after about the 4th or 5th day thinking, well, I'm doing that in the morning.
Right.
So
It's already covered.
I'll kind of
Yeah.
put an amendment on my promise. So, but God brought me around to that and said, hey, you know, you promised me,
Yeah.
you know. And making God a promise is kind of a serious thing. Not kind of a serious thing.
Definitely.
It is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
serious thing. You know, that if you're going to make a commitment, and I always refer back to marriage again. You can't say one day, oh, yeah, okay, fine, we're going to get married, and 2 weeks later say, forget it. It's too much work, costs too much money, don't have time to take off and do all this other stuff. Well, you're going to probably not end up being married if you once
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, the relationship is important. I even saw on Facebook this morning it's actually somebody from Indiana who came off of addictions, and the family was just completely broken and in tatters. And my good friend Daniel Edwards was the pastor there, and he poured into this family. But the mom has been through all kinds of things, but she posted this morning, relationship, not religion. And it is,
Exactly.
you know, there's a lot of times that we worship our spouse, our wife, or our husband by giving them things and, you know, monetary donations to kind of make them feel that we care about them,
Yeah.
especially with Valentine's coming up. But there's nothing more that we covet more than time, and the same is true with God.
Exactly.
relationship.
Exactly. I mean, how many families where, you know, all of a sudden the wife wants a divorce and the husband goes, well, what do you mean you want a divorce? I've been working, you know,
Right.
15 hours a day and that's been for you.
Right.
Well,
Providing. I'm providing.
yeah, exactly. And you're not really providing the emotional need of your partner, both male or female, on that end. So my encouragement to you is, why is it important that we stick to some of these promises? Can I ask you first?
Why is it important that we stick to some of these promises? Because there are habits that are formed, and if we don't put habits in our lives, and maybe I should say safeguards rather than habits. But if we don't have safeguards or habits in our lives, there's going to be something that we're going to fill our time with. And so, why not fill our time with Christ
Yeah.
and a relationship with Him and growing in our relationship with Him so that we aren't distracted to follow something that even the Bible says is pleasurable for a season, but then very quickly leads to doom. So building habits so that we have safeguards, so that we don't go a route that is not pleasing to God.
How would you answer that?
I would say we need to keep our promises or what we say we're going to do because God does.
Got that point,
He
yeah.
keeps his promises, and we should try to model his way of doing things. And it's impossible to be perfect like him, but we should be striving for that.
Yeah.
And not only for us, but for the people around us.
Yeah.
The verse about the vine and the vine dresser, and if we're in the Word, we're going to show fruit, and people are going to see that.
Yeah.
And it's important because of family. It's important because of friends. This week has been, just the first couple of days have been kind of an emotional roller coaster for some of us. For Travis here lost a mentor.
Yeah.
And how spiritually did that affect you?
Just he was like my encounters with him were life changing. The way that he walked with God and his heart was to faith. Oh my gosh, the amount of faith that this man of God walked in, and he had. I was sharing with Kevin yesterday when I stopped in. When you were around him, he had a godly conviction about him that made you. You were convicted when you were around him if you were doing stuff that you weren't supposed to be doing. And he didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to talk about it. But it was just how he walked with God. And just spiritually, I'm not confused. I would say I'm angry because I don't feel it was his time.
Yeah, he was 51 or 2, according to the obituary that I could see.
Yeah.
So young.
So young guys. Oh, man. So
But
much. Yeah.
the good thing, or what positive can you take away from it?
Man, when I'm gone, I want to be remembered like him because I don't think he wasted a moment or an opportunity to touch somebody's life. I don't think I believe with all my heart, he didn't waste one moment. And like I said, I don't know him deeply like a lot of other people did, but the encounter that I had with him, life-changing. So, and just reading through Facebook and seeing all the people here in the area that were affected, all the young pastors, there's so many young pastors now that he mentored. It's crazy, the amount of them.
Yeah.
And I want to be remembered like that. I can truly say, without doubt, he didn't waste a moment touching somebody's life.
Yeah, and that would bring us back to what Pastor Mark talked on January 31st with what we would normally say Vision Sunday, but he made it very clear this is a hard time for vision because we're looking 7 days out sometimes, and even that is changed. But he shared about the individuals who were building the house, and they said, this is what I'll be remembered by is for building this extravagant home. And what a waste.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool when you're here, but when you're gone,
Yeah.
that's not what I want to be remembered
Right.
for. And the stories that I've seen, and a lot of my Facebook friends know, I'm saying Pastor Green, But they've shared stories about him, and man, what a challenge that is. That we need to set up patterns to follow so that we can be what God has called us to be, because that's all he was. He was what God
That's
called
it.
him to be.
That's it.
And so we can look at that and say, I want to be like him, but ultimately we want to be like Christ.
Yeah.
And so it's setting up and getting back to the basics. And so I know you have some things here. What are some things that we need to put in place so that we can get to the basics?
Well, let's go one more step deeper.
Okay.
How do you see God in his passing?
According to the word, what the word says, God does everything well, and we're incapable of understanding or comprehending how he does. His ways, his thoughts, they're higher than ours. So I would just say, yes, Lord, amen.
Well, you could almost also say, look at how many people he affected. We all know where he's at, so that's a good thing. But it brought our attention back to what's important. It brought your attention back to what you want as a goal for your life, whether it be to follow his example, because obviously he was a man of God.
Yeah.
So maybe it was I go with my yellow stickies again, just a message. Hey, this is what you can be also. And this is what you should be striving for. But the sad part is we shouldn't wait until someone dies.
Right.
In
That's
this particular case, we know where he's at. We're the selfish ones who miss, and when we say, okay, we that are left behind, we will miss them. But that should also make us think about what should we be doing? What should I be doing for Kevin that I would have thought about doing after he passed?
Yeah.
Why didn't I do such and such for
Right.
him?
Why didn't you bring more food to me?
Yeah.
Why what?
Why didn't you bring more food to me?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
No,
why
that's
didn't you
an
give me
Earl
more? Why didn't you
thing.
give me more money? That's right.
exactly. Well, that would have been Travis's.
No,
Why-
but it's
Why didn't you send us more
salmon.
salmon?
Hey, that's a good time to shout out. Yes. Scylla,
I'm under pressure here, girls.
come on, girls. Come on, Alaska girls. Bring it.
Go fishing. But that's the whole key. What makes me sad is Travis just is going through his time of mourning, but also celebration and insight. I think God has definitely, obviously worked on you on that. But I also discovered that there was a 28-year-old who committed suicide. Boy, comes from a family who does not know God. Now, what do you do in a situation like that? How do you handle that? Could someone have made it a point on bringing up God in the conversation and how important it is to have salvation and faith and belief? And if that didn't happen, boy, if they call it a celebration of life when they have their funeral or whatever you want to term it, how sad that is. So I want to lay a guilt trip not only on myself, but on you guys too, who for 21 days, boy, you really tried to be faithful and develop your relationship with God, and worked on it.
But there's 344 days left in the year.
Exactly. And how important and what a difference it can make. I got goosebumps this morning. This isn't a commercial, but I started a Bible study methods, how to get into Scripture and develop a relationship with God, you personally, type thing. And there was one gal, and I'm sure she won't mind me sharing, that, she showed up for the class and had no reason to think why she was even there, type deal. And she went through the first method, and I got a text from her that just gave me goosebumps because she says, I've never had a meeting with God like this before.
Yeah. A personal meeting.
A personal meeting, just like the burning bush type thing. We're not going to have too many burning bushes, hopefully, but if we allow him to talk to us, then that's the important thing. And again, I know I had brought up space pets before, but in order, I made a note of different things that you can do now. Again, don't call it 21 days of prayer. Call it creating a new relationship. If I came up to you and I said, Kevin, I want you to meet somebody, and this person I want you to meet is really cool. When can we set a time for you and me to go meet this person? And I make that invitation to you guys, too. But you have to show up. And you have to have the attitude that you do want to meet this person. Does that make sense?
Are you saying that you want us to introduce others to Christ, or I need to have my personal time with Christ?
Both. If I have a relationship with Christ, the fruit of that will be I want other people to know them too.
Yeah.
Just like your friend. If every time you met with him, it was a spiritual thing with you, I am sure if somebody said to you, well, who was that guy you were talking to? You would have really bragged on him and said, hey, he's my mentor. He has given me this. He's given me insight there. This is Christ in you, and our job is to share it. But you got to get him in here. Or he is in there, but you have to get to know him better.
Yeah, there's got to be a relationship.
Exactly. So my challenge to you guys is make this a 365-day commitment to meeting with God on a daily basis. Really meeting with him. No excuse.